Hello guys, welcome back to the Brutal Investor channel. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day today. In this episode, we're going to talk about another token that recently got listed on Coinbase, and this token is called Centrifuge or the CFG token, right? The token that actually got listed on Coinbase is wrapped Centrifuge, but the CFG or the regular Centrifuge token, which is the unwrapped version, is the exact same as the wrapped version, right? So again, as always guys, I highly recommend you guys to do your own research on any of the projects we cover on our channel. And for this project, I recommend you guys to go to the website centrifuge.io in order to learn more about this project, right? So for the purpose of this video, I'm going to rely on the information presented below the coin market caps page for this token. But this is only going to be a peripheral analysis, which means you have to do your own in-depth analysis before you put any of your hard-earned money on this token, right? So what is Centrifuge? Centrifuge is a decentralized asset financing protocol. It connects decentralized finance with real-world assets or RWA, while trying to lower the cost of capital for small and mid-sized enterprises or SMEs and provide investors with a stable source of income. The main goal of the project is to generate profits that are not tied to volatile crypto assets. The developers are pursuing the task of transferring real monetary value from fiat to cryptocurrencies, right? So again, there's a lot of information that needs to be unpacked from this particular paragraph. So let's go through it one by one. So Centrifuge is a decentralized platform, and it's aiming to be a decentralized asset financing protocol, right? What does that mean? So what it does is it connects DeFi with real world assets. That's basically what it's trying to do. So it's trying to connect decentralized finance with something that is available on the real world. Let's say, for example, you have a house that you want to tokenize. So Centrifuge is technically saying that it's bringing in your house or a property in a tokenized form into DeFi so that you can technically trade your house if you want to, or you can stake it in a platform and earn interest while actually being in the house itself, right? So it's a vague and quick example that I thought of, but overall you can apply this principle to several other applications, right? And it's doing this while trying to lower the cost of capital for small and mid-sized enterprises. Again, when you think about enterprises or corporations, they usually kind of have to pay a higher cost in order to do an investment. So they have to pay a lot of money in order to or lose a lot of money in order to make an investment, right? That's called the cost of doing business. So they lose money in order to gain money. That's kind of like the process how it works in the traditional financial ecosystem. But Centrifuge tries to do this by reducing the cost of capital for small and mid-sized enterprises, and also provides investors with a stable source of income. So when investors are investing, let's say for example a tokenized version of their car, or some of their assets that cannot be otherwise tokenized, but when they tokenize it through Centrifuge, they have the opportunity to make a passive income with by just using their tokenized version of their asset in Centrifuge in order to make a stable source of income, right? So that's basically how Centrifuge works, and they have a main goal, which is to generate profits that are not tied to volatile crypto assets. So again, if you're taking Bitcoin for example, it is relatively less volatile compared to many other cryptocurrencies, but overall compared to stocks, bonds, ETFs and everything else, any other asset, it is quite volatile. So by holding Bitcoin, you are exposed to high levels of volatility, and by staking it, your rates of return, or by lending it, your rates of return are not extremely stable because it varies depending on the price of the asset, right? So you can't really plan for your retirement fully by just staking or lending your Bitcoin in a particular DeFi platform. But instead, if you know that a particular asset that's in real world, that has a real world use case, such as your house or a car, that has a fixed value that doesn't necessarily fluctuate in volatility like a cryptocurrency, then you can technically tokenize that, bring it to Centrifuge, stake it, and earn more passive income, a stable and much more predictable passive income, which can help you plan for your retirement, right? So that's something that's one of the main goals for Centrifuge. The developers are pursuing the task of transferring real monetary value to from fiat to cryptocurrencies. Again, they're trying to use these techniques in order to bring actual real value from stable coins, stable currencies like dollars, euros, yen, and yuan, and bring it to cryptocurrencies in a fully decentralized manner. So that's basically what Centrifuge is trying to do. Companies are using Centrifuge to access the liquidity that DeFi has to offer. So again, when it comes to liquidity, DeFi's liquidity and total value locked is increasing at an exponential rate in a day-by-day basis. And instead of like letting this liquidity kind of be stagnant, companies or real enterprises in the real world can typically tap into this liquidity and take advantage of the funds for their own benefits, while at the same time growing the DeFi ecosystem even further, right? And that's exactly what Centrifuge is trying to do. They can tokenize real assets and use these tokens as collateral to access through financing through Tin Lake, a decentralized application or a dApp lending protocol. So as I mentioned before, if you want to, if you have a land, for example, which you want to plan to build a house on, but unfortunately you can't because you don't really have the capital to do so, and at the same time the land is actually just, although it's in paper appreciating in value, it's not actually giving you any form of passive income, right? So with Centrifuge, you can technically tokenize your land and bring it into the Centrifuge platform, and you can lend it through a dApp called Tin Lake, which is a dApp on the Centrifuge ecosystem that can be used to lend your land at a interest rate that you can set, and technically lease out your land by not actually leasing it out, but you're doing it in a digital decentralized manner and earning passive income along the way, right? And all the while, when you're lending your land token, which is the token that you have created by tokenizing your actual land, you can also in real life see your value of the value of your land appreciating. So you're getting capital gains from your land while also getting passive income by tokenizing it and bringing through Centrifuge and by lending it through the Tin Lake platform, right? So these are all some of the applications that Centrifuge is basically bringing into the table. So the Centrifuge blockchain is built on Polkadot for speed and low fees, while its financial dApp Tin Lake is built to access Ethereum's liquidity. So again, the Centrifuge ecosystem itself is a blockchain that is aiming to become a parachain on top of the Polkadot blockchain, and this is because of the speed and low fees, while its financial dApp or the borrowing and lending dApp Tin Lake is built to access Ethereum liquidity. So the Tin Lake dApp itself is specifically built to tap into the liquidity of the Ethereum network, right? Centrifuge provides liquidity to everyone, and investors receive income and reward from their in the form of CFG tokens. So again, the main goal of Centrifuge is to provide liquidity to all of these non-tokenized assets in a tokenized fashion, and to provide income, a regular stable income for the investors, along with rewards that are paid out in the form of CFG tokens. Centrifuge links assets such as invoices, real estate, and royalties with decentralized finance. So again, apart from your land or your home or your car, you can actually use invoices and other forms of real estate, not just your actual house. You can even use an office space or an commercial industrial space and tokenize them into Centrifuge and make them access the DeFi space, right? and also any form of royalties. All of these can be tokenized and be added to the decentralized finance ecosystem. Additionally, borrowers benefit from the fact that they can finance the real assets without banks or other intermediaries. Again, if you were to finance your land or a property, you have to go through several traditional hoops in order to get any form of a loan or any form of refinancing with interest rates that may not necessarily be favorable to you and with terms that are not necessarily favorable to you, right? But the benefit of Centrifuge is that if you can tokenize it, you can basically set your own terms, you can set your own interest rates, and you can be full control of your actual asset itself, because you are tokenizing it in a decentralized blockchain such as Polkadot, and it's all fully, you are in complete control of your tokenized asset from start to finish, and you can dictate when you want to lend it, to whom you want to lend it, and how you want to lend it, and what interest rate you want to lend it. So all these parameters can be set by you, right? So that's one of the main advantages of this platform. So now that we covered the peripheral basics of what Centrifuge is, let's talk about the founders. Centrifuge was launched in 2017 by Lucas V and Martin Quinsel. Lucas V is a founding engineer at Centrifuge and holds the position of the company's CEO. Vogel Sang, co-founded e-commerce startup DNDeal in 2010. After successfully selling DNDeal to Ringier, he started working on another startup, KaufDA. Later, Vogel Sang relocated to Silicon Valley to join Taulia as a technical manager. In October 2017, he co-founded Centrifuge. Martin Quinsel is a co-founder at Centrifuge and its current COO. Prior to Centrifuge, he co-founded Taulia. Quinsel began his career at SAP as a software developer and architect. So again, here we are talking about two main founders, Lucas Vogelsang, I'll call him Lucas V, and Martin Quinsel. So these are some of the two main founders of Centrifuge, and they've been, they've had experiences from several other projects, inside of Silicon Valley and outside of Silicon Valley as well. And they form the CEO and COO respectively. So I don't want to go into too much detail because it's completely irrelevant for our purposes, but it's good to know about the founders and their background, right? So what makes Centrifuge unique? So just like any platform, Centrifuge also has its own token called the CFG token. So why would you, out of many other platforms, choose the CFG token to invest in? What's the main reason for investing in it, right? So the Centrifuge protocol tokenizes real-world assets by converting them into non-fungible tokens. So again, right off the bat, this is one of the main real-world use cases that is going to revolutionize the crypto space. The reason is currently crypto is seen as this volatile and very next-gen investment, which is not really making sense because you're kind of creating a random token from thin air and you're trading it and thereby giving it an artificial value with no real-world use cases, right? So that's the common criticism that cryptocurrency is currently getting from traditional, investors and, several other people, including governments. Although this mindset is slowly changing, platforms like Centrifuge will make it much more easier to understand crypto by making a cryptocurrency out of a real world asset, right? So if a real world asset can be bridged and brought into the crypto world and can be lent out for a specific period of time under a specific APR or APY, in order to generate a passive income for the owner, then that's basically the real life use case of cryptocurrencies overall. Because if you can take a land, a house or your car and tokenize it and lend it, then that's basically the next step in the evolution of finance and evolution of money. And that's exactly what Centrifuge is aiming to do, right? And you can do this not just by tokenizing them, you're basically converting them into NFTs, which means they're non-fungible, which means the true ownership and authenticity is completely verified, and that's basically what Centrifuge is doing, right? After that, they are funded through Tin Lake. So once you tokenize your asset, real world asset, into an NFT, you can funnel it through the Tin Lake dApp. Tin Lake is the first dApp built on the Centrifuge chain. It was created to access liquidity on Ethereum, while CFG has its own bridge to Ethereum. So after you bring your real world asset that's tokenized into an NFT through Tin Lake, which is the first dApp built on Centrifuge, uses the liquidity of the Ethereum blockchain, because Ethereum being the largest and the most popular blockchain, despite its current shortcomings, it still has an ample amount of liquidity which can be tapped by platforms like Centrifuge, and that's exactly what CFG is doing. And although the NFTs themselves can be provided liquidity for through the Ethereum blockchain, there is a separate bridge where other tokens can also migrate to and from Ethereum to the Centrifuge blockchain, right? The features of Centrifuge include integration with other DeFi protocols. So again, one of the main features is that how can CFG or the native dApp Tin Lake kind of like take advantage of different DeFi protocols. So it can do that because Centrifuge has an inbuilt integration system where it integrates itself with other DeFi protocols seamlessly. This feature allows Centrifuge users to get liquidity without slowdowns and protects DeFi protocols from destabilizing events by adding uncorrelated collateral. As a result, the cumulative risks are reduced and predatory lending and banks are replaced by smart contracts. Again, they are relying on Centrifuge's ability to integrate with other DeFi protocols to get the liquidity and the smooth the smooth transition of a real-world tokenized NFT into the DeFi space, and thereby not actually destabilizing the DeFi economy, thereby making it a stable and viable option, right? And by doing that, they're reducing the risk of predatory lending and borrowing because it's all fully controlled by smart contracts, right? As of June 2021, Centrifuge has the highest total value locked on the Polkadot ecosystem. Again, since June 2021, Centrifuge has the highest TVL. Moreover, the project claims to be among the first to be launched on a parachain on Polkadot. When the team designed the Centrifuge chain, operational speed and low fees were prioritized. Again, this is one of the first platforms to be launched as a parachain on Polkadot, and it's also one of the main reasons why they chose Polkadot was because of the speed as well as the low transaction fees, right? So that's pretty much some of the main high points to choose to invest in CFG. And when it comes to security, this is one of the main topics that we need to worry about, because if you're moving your asset, let's say you're moving your land or an actual house into the Centrifuge blockchain, you need to make sure that it's actually fully secure before you can actually bring any valuable real-world assets. Otherwise, you're going to lose a lot of money, right? So how secure is this network? Users pay transaction fees in CFG tokens, and transaction aggregators on Polkadot receive a share of the fee for processing and storing data. These measures, as well as the NPOS or nominated proof of stake mechanism and the CFG rewards, encourage users to operate fairly and select data collectors that provide censorship resistance. Again, firstly, since Centrifuge network is basically kind of like all the transactions are happening through the CFG tokens, it kind of like ensures the security of the network, because CFG tokens must be paid as transaction fees, and the Polkadot ecosystem itself receives a small share of the fee, thereby allowing the processing and storage of data that kind of secures the information on the blockchain. And also they use a proof of stake mechanism called nominated proof of stake, CFG tokens are rewarded, and this encourages users to operate in a fair manner and provide full security to the platform, right? Overall, most of the security comes from the Polkadot relay chain. Again, this is one of the main reasons why this network is quite secure, because the parachain of Centrifuge itself is attached to the relay chain of Polkadot, thereby making it very secure, right? The use of Polkadot's protective mechanism provides Centrifuge with a high level of security at a low cost. Again, just like any dApps that are built on top of Ethereum rely on the security of Ethereum, Centrifuge, although it's not a dApp, it's a blockchain it's a node, or it's a blockchain in and of itself, which is built on top of the Polkadot's relay chain, relies on the relay chain's security as its own security feature, right? So that's one of the reasons why this platform is quite secure. So that's pretty much the overview of this token. Let's quickly go through the website itself to see what other information we can find. So going to the website, it's a pretty simple website right off the bat. They don't have a lot of information that is quite flashy or too overwhelming. They just state that real world DeFi unlocking liquidity for real world assets. So that's pretty much what they're trying to say. And there's a cool graphic that kind of shows how you can bridge a real world asset into the crypto space. The current total value locked is $33.5 million. Again, for a platform that's aiming to bridge real world assets to the crypto space, the market cap, the total value locked is quite minimal, which means it has a lot of room to grow. It's a very new project and it's also listed on Coinbase. Therefore, it's only going to get a lot more traction in the future. And it's one of my favorite projects as well because it's a Polkadot based parachain project, right? And if you want to access their dApp, you can click on Enter App to access their dApp and learn more in order to learn more about this project. Centrifuge bridges assets like invoices, real estate, and royalties to DeFi. We basically discussed this before. Borrowers can finance their real world assets without banks or other intermediaries. Again, this is a huge deal for the future of financing and crypto as a whole. Providing liquidity is open to everyone. Investors receive a return in stablecoin plus CFG liquidity rewards. Again, not only will you be able to provide liquidity seamlessly, but you can also get a stablecoin return for investing along with CFG tokens, which will be playing a very important role within this ecosystem itself. And if you want to know how their platform works, you can click on this video to learn more about this project. And we are the bridge that brings trillions from the real world to DeFi. Again, that's basically what this platform is all about. It's kind of like a black hole. That's basically what they're kind of symbolizing here. It kind of draws in all the real world assets into the crypto space. It's built on Substrate because it's running on Polkadot, powered by Ethereum. Obviously, it's using the liquidity of Ethereum, bridged with Polkadot. So again, they are definitely using the two best blockchains in existence, Polkadot and Ethereum, to get the best out of it, right? And you kind of have the social media information here. Real world assets, a key building block for the future of DeFi. Again, this is something that we already talked about, which you can read more about. Risk and rewards of investing into Twin Lake pools. Again, just because there is a lot of opportunities, it doesn't mean that it doesn't come with risk. You have to know the risk about providing liquidity and how that's going to affect your returns overall. And going. So again, this is all something that will happen pretty soon, and they're kind of like looking forward to the future. You can also subscribe to the newsletter to get up-to-date information by typing your email ID here and clicking the subscribe button. You can also see some of their social media information and other relevant project information as well that you can use to do your own research, right? So overall, a very strong fundamental project which is built on top of one of the most popular blockchains and the most anticipated blockchain, which is going to have its own bull run. I believe that Polkadot and even at some point in the future Cardano will have their own bull rallies because all the tokens that are native to these blockchains will kind of like have their own bull run, and that's going to be something that's going to be really cool because you will have multiple bull runs. You'll have NFT bull run, you will have the regular crypto bull run with Bitcoin leading the way, and you'll also have these minor bull runs within the ecosystem such as Polkadot bull run and Cardano bull run, where platforms like Centrifuge's token will kind of like shoot upwards because of their strong fundamentals and what they aim to do in the future, right? So going back to the coin market cap page for Centrifuge, this token is currently ranked 276th by market cap on coin market cap, and it's currently trading at $1.69. at the time I'm making this video, and it's been down 18.7%. This is despite the fact that this token is listed on Coinbase. So it seems like nobody is literally noticing this token, which is a good thing because you obviously need to only buy when nobody's talking about it and when the token is in the red zone, right? So the market cap is only $183.4 million in market cap. Again, if you take the real world asset market, it's in the tens of trillions of dollars, and some assets are so huge that it's incomprehensible because if you take the real estate market, it's a huge market and it's a global market that is also a very scarce asset. So technically real estates can be considered as a scarce resource just like Bitcoin, and therefore their price is only going to keep appreciating in value. And due to climate change, real estate is getting eroded by oceans, lakes and floods, and this is only going to make these resources extremely scarce, right? So for a platform that's aiming to bring assets like real estate into cryptocurrency, into the crypto DeFi world, the market cap for this platform being only 183 million is so laughably undervalued that I personally feel like this is supposed to be in the billions, right? And in a few years, like maybe 5 to 7 years from now, I think this token is poised to be a $1 billion token when it comes to market cap easily, right? And that's obviously a given, and also it's kind of like an inevitability at this point, because this is a kind of project that's bringing in crypto with real world, and that's basically what we need to see, right? So if you are into this token right now, you are pretty much an early adopter, because this token is going to be in the tens of billions in market cap in the near future, right? So when it comes to the max supply, they don't have the max supply information. I don't know if the token itself has no max supply, but the total token supply is 430 million tokens. Again, there is a staking concept for this token, which means this token is going to be staked. Therefore, the max supply or the total supply is going to get reduced pretty soon, because most of this token would be staked within the network to kind of like secure the network itself. And the circulating supply is about 108.4 million tokens. Again, quite a lot of tokens, but it's not as high as billions and billions of tokens that some other projects have as a max supply, right? So when it comes to tokenomics, I would say this tokenomics is quite fair, and it is a token that will be staked eventually in this blockchain, which means there's going to be a lot of the tokens taken away from circulation, which is only going to drive the price of this token high, right? So if you take a look at the charts itself, although this token had been doing quite well in the upcoming weeks, on a daily or on a weekly chart, the token has been relatively low. But overall, if you see the big picture, the token has significantly risen. So people are starting to notice the full value of this token. So the token was initially worth about 76 cents as of 14th of July, since the price is beginning from this date on CoinMarketCap page. We'll basically use this as a reference point. So initially it was worth 76 cents in July, and then it immediately shot up to a price point of about close to $1, in fact reaching relative highs of about 88 cents on 17th of July, and then it kind of dipped back down to 67 cents before making an actual all-time highs of about $1.63 on the 16th of August. It kind of like crashed down, being extremely volatile, and slowly crashed down to a price point of about 91 cents, which was the relative lows in the recent times on the 21st of September. And after this price point, the tokens literally started shooting up ballistically, going as high as $2.11 on 2nd of October, and now it's kind of like in the lower trend. It's kind of going in the lower direction. $1.69 is where it is at right now, right? So I think this token can go below the $1.60 mark, and that will be a good opportunity to dollar cost average in. You are still getting it at a relatively higher price point if you buy this at this price point, but you can still get a better price point because the token is apparently shrinking, And when you need to buy a token, you need to buy it at the absolute lowest possible price. Although you can't guess this price, you can start using dollar cost averaging in order to get the best average price point, right? So with that being said, you can basically start dollar cost averaging in from this price point, and you can start dollar cost averaging in aggressively when the price goes below the $1.60, right? But $1.60 would be the price that this token will probably go in the next 1 or 2 days, and that will be a good entry opportunity in dollar comparative, right? Again, not financial advice, this is my personal opinion. If you take a look at the Bitcoin comparative on the other hand, you can clearly see that the Bitcoin comparative has been doing quite well, but it seems like in the Bitcoin comparative, the token is kind of steeping pretty low, as of now, but we'll cover that shortly. But if you take the initial price point of Satoshi value, this token was worth 2,300 Satoshis as of 14th of July, and then it immediately reached a relative all-time highs of about, I believe, 2,700 Satoshis on the 17th of July before going back down. It is much volatile in the Bitcoin comparative as compared to the dollar comparative. This token was worth 1,700, which I believe was the lowest all-time lows, and then it started going ballistically up to a price point of 3,400 Satoshis on 16th of August, and then it started slowly going down, reaching a price point of about 2,100 as its relatively lows on 19th of September before shooting back up to a new all-time highs of about, I believe it's somewhat higher than 4,500 to 4,700 in that range before going back down, and now it's kind of at a relatively low price point of 3,200 Satoshis, which is, I feel like, a good price point to enter in, because if you see, you are quite far away from the all-time highs and you are not really that low, but you can still start dollar cost averaging in from this price point in the Satoshi comparative, because I think this token can probably go below the 3,000 Satoshi mark, maybe touch the 2,900 to 2,800 Satoshi mark and then bounce back up, right? So if you're buying at this price point, you're pretty much getting in at a relatively good price point in the Satoshi comparative. But if you want to get in at the dollar comparative, I'd probably suggest you to wait till the token reaches below the $1.60 mark to dollar cost average it, right? Again, that's just my opinion, guys, not financial advice. When it comes to the market, this token is obviously listed on Coinbase. Coinbase is obviously listing this token in the wrapped version because it's listing it in an ERC20 version. So please bear that in mind. If you buy this token from Coinbase, you're getting it as a wrapped centrifuge or wrapped CFG token, which is an ERC20 token, and therefore when you withdraw it from Coinbase, you're going to pay quite a bit of a gas fee because the withdrawal fees would be quite high because the gas fees on Ethereum is quite high. But if you want to get this token in its kind of like native form in the Centrifuge blockchain version, you can get it from Gate.io or CoinList Pro or even AEX, which is a tier 3 exchange that only lists a very few exotic tokens. But I would probably suggest you to not go below the CoinList, because CoinList is where most of the reputed tokens are, and CoinList is also a relatively decent exchange, right? But if you want to get this from an absolutely safe location, Coinbase is the best place to get it, but bear in mind that the fees are quite high and you're getting the wrapped version of this one, right? So what's my final verdict, guys? I think this project is going to be one of the best projects that's been on the Polkadot ecosystem, because the fundamentals are extremely strong and there's no better use case that you can think of than bridging the real world assets with cryptocurrency and DeFi and making a passive income in an era where inflation is quite high, job opportunities are quite low, and the salaries are not really increasing proportionately, right? So in an era where we have these things happening around, you can technically use Centrifuge to even tokenize your car and lend out your car in a tokenized manner and earn passive income while still retaining full ownership of your car in a fully decentralized and peer-to-peer manner, right? So that's basically what Centrifuge is allowing you to do, and for that I can definitely expect the price of this token to go at least to $5 by the end of this bull run, and in the long term this token can easily be above $7 to $10 per token in the next 3 years, and in the next 5 years I think this token can reach somewhere between $10 to $15 per token. Again, all of this is high speculation. I'm just stating these things based on my personal prediction, based on my personal understanding of the TA as well as the fundamental analysis of this token. But again, there's no guarantee that this token would do well, because Polkadot is a very, very new ecosystem, and you have to be extremely careful before you invest in any of the tokens, because Polkadot, although it's a promising project, it could completely fail, and this token could also completely be irrelevant in the future. So you're taking a big risk, but the potential reward is going to be extremely high, and the chances of this token or this platform not performing well is quite low, because it is a project that is kind of like doing something extremely relevant to what we need in the real world, right? Again, that's just my opinion, guys. Again, remember, guys, you guys are not regular investors, you guys are brutal investors, so stay brutal. Thank you very much for watching my video, guys. If you like my video, please hit the like button and subscribe for more videos. See you in my next video. Bye.